I did not think we were ever getting a new Danganronpa story. After Danganronpa S came out, I assumed that every piece of Danganronpa media from now on would be side stories and spin-offs, which I was never particularly interested in. And maybe this is technically a spin-off, but it's apparently a sort of a remix of Danganronpa 2, with a new set of killers and victims. Turns out this is exactly what I didn't know I needed. Now, I'm not a Danganronpa tuber, and I don't really engage with the fandom these days, but I do consider myself a casual fan, and I can say, with all my heart, this game excites me. Danganronpa has a lot of flaws, but at the end of the day, it's a high-stakes mystery game that scratched an itch that Ace Attorney was never quite able to reach. I like the suspense that comes with not knowing who the next victim is going to be, and I love the knife-twisting betrayal that comes with discovering the culprit. Some might think it's lazy to reuse a cast from a previous game, but I think it really works here. Each game has had progressively wackier characters, and I can't help but feel like another new set of 16 Blorbos would feel a little bit stale. It's not like they couldn't make it work, but given that Danganronpa V3 already reeks of developer burnout, I can respect 2x2 being their way of cutting out the tedium of reinventing the basics so they can instead focus on writing some good mysteries. And besides, Danganronpa 2 already has my favorite cast. There's something about them that defies plot armor. It's like no one feels too important to be a victim. But on the flip side, everyone feels just unhinged enough to be a potential killer. The first Danganronpa felt a lot more structured about giving characters meaningful arcs and telling a tight story, like every death was calculated to progress the plot in a certain kind of way. But the Danganronpa 2 cast feels expendable? They're not fodder exactly, but it never feels like anyone is completely safe. Any combination of killers, victims, and survivors would have made sense to me, so remixing everything in Danganronpa 2x2 feels natural, in a way that I doubt the other two games could have managed. I also think that Danganronpa 2 is where the series really hit its stride. The mysteries are more consistent, and the storyline strikes a nice balance between grounded and campy. Where V3 always felt like it was trying to be bigger and bolder than its predecessors, DR2 felt like it was simply building on a strong foundation. By revisiting Danganronpa 2, rather than making a proper Danganronpa 4, the devs are showing that they don't need to one-up themselves. This new game doesn't seem bigger or better than Danganronpa 2, it just seems a little bit different. More of the stuff that I already like, without the looming fear of them jumping the shark somehow. After all, spectacle is not what makes a puzzle game interesting. The other thing that excites me about all this is the world building, and more specifically, how there will hopefully not be any. I love the games, but I hate the world building of Danganronpa. It always comes across as a lazy exposition dump, derailing the pacing of the final chapter and generally not being as interesting as the actual mysteries the game presents us with. But for Danganronpa 2x2, haven't we already seen the world building? Haven't we already played through the twists and turns of the overarching mystery of this island? This new game is supposed to be an entirely new scenario, so I can't imagine they're just going to reuse the exact same setup again. Maybe it's just cope, but I see this as an opportunity to break away from the convoluted Danganronpa lore and do something new with the ending. Maybe they'll give us a final chapter that isn't just the history of Hope's Peak Academy again. Or who knows? Maybe they find a way to make things twice as convoluted. Hajime, I'm from the future, and I've discovered something horrible. The world is made of cereal. This class trial is being held on the backside of a cereal box. Doesn't that just fill you with despair?